Good morning, Babylon. It's Kinninigan. Don't worry, we're gonna have a I don't know what I called this video yet. We're gonna talk about the future. Yeah, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result each time. So I'm just gonna kind of give you a basic idea of what direction we're going in, and this is something that is going to start iconically on New Year's, January. Yeah, a new year, the dawn of a new day. Yeah, that was Barack Obama's campaign slogan about bringing in the new world order. The dawn of a new day. Never happened. Don't worry. They never got their new world order. It's all falling apart now. I'm done with the. So what are we doing? Well, let me give you a little backstory. Going back to my first Kinninigan YouTube channel. By the way, please share, like, subscribe. I don't monetize my videos. I always need cigarettes. Thank you to the people who supported my channel recently. That money went to food basically, which is good. I actually ate protein last night. Don't ask. But I believe it's Elizabeth Kalina, and I had a donation last night from Lucifer. Yeah, I shit you not. Yeah, thank you, Lucifer. Actually, his name is Patrick, unless he was trolling me, but it doesn't matter. I appreciate. I don't care if the donations come from Lucifer or not. We're share some of that Luciferian money. Yeah, who cares? Nah, I think he was just playing with me. Believe me, I've gotten donations before that were I was getting trolled with the numerology. Believe me. So yeah, I would appreciate it. I do need cigarettes. I always need cigarettes. And here's the idea. Hopefully, after January, I'm not going to have to ask people um, for donations anymore. And life works in cyclical. Um, I love that word, cyclical. It's just fun to say. Try saying it sometime. It makes you sound smart. Also, cyclical. A lot like it goes in cycles, cyclical. You have your ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster. And those that were around on my first Kinninigan channel, even my second one, knew that we were building something. Yes, I had, I guess you can call them employees. I went to Area 51 in 2019, and that started as a joke in a Discord chat with my team saying, hey, we should go to Area 51. A few weeks later, I was in Area 51. I didn't get swatted by the camo guys. The CIA didn't arrest me. The Men in Black did not commandeer my SD cards. And there's a reason why. One of the main reasons is one of my partners and who I was staying with while I was out in Las Vegas. Well, long story short, if you've been on my Discord servers before, you may know of my quote unquote team. And that all fell apart. Not only did I lose a YouTube channel, we lost our Raging Reptilian website at GoDaddy. You think YouTube's the only one who banned me? Yeah, I had a website. If you listen to my old videos, there's a reason why I'm saying, hello, this is Kinninigan from RagingReptilian.com. Raging Reptilian was the name of our company. We founded a corporation. And then that all went down because getting kicked off YouTube multiple times, we were not making a profit. And that comes into something that kind of goes into what the video was about yesterday. I was supporting Donald Trump because of his anti-human trafficking stuff he was doing. Long story short, me and my team, let's just say we were a group of people who do not like pedophiles, period. I've got friends in low places. That's all I'm going to say. So I can't do things by myself. And so anyway, long story short, buddy of mine had some health issues. That's all I'm going to say. Not going to go into personal stuff about him. If you know who I'm talking about, you know. If you don't, oh well. A lot of these people, it was a group of us working together, yeah. And so the idea now, what are we doing? Well, I do have a lot of skills, specifically when it comes to audio engineering, video production. and giving lectures about reptilians. So we're going in a new direction. Um, January. I'm just going to touch on this briefly. There, because in between now and January, there's a lot of stuff I'm doing, including producing my own audio for this, doing some sound tests. Long story short, we are starting a podcast, and I am producing this podcast like you would an episodic TV show. And I'm telling you right now, not even David Icke, I can do it, and I know I can do it. There is no other reptilian researcher out there that can give you 50 podcasts, 2 hours long, probably a piece. The idea is to release one a week, and my podcast is going to be 2 hours. It's going to be strictly about reptilians, alpha draconians, and native terrans, and occasionally the alien gray archons. But we're not going to delve deep into specific secret societies or Zion or child trafficking and pedophilia because the idea is we want to be on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, all the podcasting platforms. And now there is a huge difference between being a YouTube live streamer, which I do plan to intend to start doing again, um, a podcaster, or a Twitch streamer. And even within those things, there are different types of podcasting. You have people out there like Joe Rogan, where his whole show is he brings on guests and they talk for 4 hours. Or the Sean Ryan show, I watched that. Or the weekend with Theo Vaughn. I'm familiar, nothing wrong. But remember, these people have professional studios built. They have a whole team working for them. Joe Rogan, I think, is at the level where he basically flies people, puts them in hotel rooms to bring them on his show, and might even pay them. Just saying. I am very generous when it comes. I am a Leo. If anyone's going to take charge of this, I am a Leo, so I'm built for this, and it's interesting. So that is what I am doing in between. So that is there is a plan here. Now, what does this do to my YouTube channel? Actually, it's better for my YouTube channel because now, if I'm doing podcasting also, I can take podcasts and cut clips out of them and put them on YouTube, just like Joe Rogan does with his podcast. Yeah, Tim Pool does that. Um, Theo Vaughn does that. They all do it. Yeah, they all clip content from their quote unquote podcast to put them on YouTube, which is fine. Now, the style of podcast I'm going for works for Reptilian. I'm not going to be on video on this podcast. I don't think I should be. I am going for the old school radio style, coast to coast AM. I want this to be the kind of podcast you put on in your room late at night when no one's around and you want to listen about the reptilians and lizard people. I want to be the type of podcast where a bunch of college kids are sitting around the dorm and they go, "Hey, put the podcast on about the reptilians." And they think it's a joke at first. And then a few hours later, they're all fans of mine because that's how I grew my first YouTube channel. And I'm good at it. I'm going to be making a professionally sound. I have an audio background, as many of you know. I can remix music. I'm going to be making my own jingle music. And the idea is, in this amazing 2025, there are websites that you could take advantage of. And for example, there's specific. I've been looking into them. I'm doing a lot of research with this. uh, a lot of different things. I talked to my partner last night, and he was even impressed on how much I got done within a week that we put this idea together. He's like, "Damn, can all right, yeah, yeah, I'm impressed, man." I said, "Yeah." Um, so yeah, I'll be doing graphic art for this, sound and audio design, creating what's called bumper music. You know what that is? That's a term for the industry where you go from different tangents and thought, like on a radio show. Coast to Coast AM does this all the time, and it works well. And you play like music, and that's called bumper music. And it also allows potential advertisers to say, "Hey, we could support your podcast. We like what you're doing. You got a unique audience here. You run our ad in your podcast video, like you know how that works." And yes, we will pick up hopefully potential advertisers. I don't know what people are actually making on podcasts on Spotify and iTunes. The idea is I'm going to be on multiple platforms. There's a website you can actually sign up for, and you upload your podcast there, and it literally puts it out to 10 different platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes. I think you just get the idea. And I'm telling you right now, because I did the research, there is no competition for me when it comes to reptilians on podcasting platforms. I had this discussion with my partner last night, and even he agreed. I said, look, the only one we would have to worry about is if David Icke decided to start podcasting, and he's not. Because David Icke, quite honestly, he's a gatekeeper. There's no way he's going to do 50 episodes of Reptilians for 2 hours apiece. No, he's going to go off on other new age, quote unquote, tangents that have nothing to do with reptilians. And I'm going to, unlike my YouTube channel, I tend to talk about a wide range of things. Because it's a different kind of platform, and I treat it like that. But these will be professionally made and professionally produced episodic podcast episodes that are probably going to run about 2 hours long a piece. And I would go into it like I told him, I said, you might have a podcaster out there that wants to cover like the Anunnaki. Well, for me, yeah, I'm going to cover the Anunnaki. Which one? There's 300 of them. I could do a 2 hour show on any one of the 300 Anunnaki. Then you have the Ajiji, who are Marduk. And in fact, I could do a 2 hour show just explaining the difference between the Anunnaki and the Ajiji. I could do a 2 hour show on secret societies that they control. I could do a 2 hour podcast just on the reptilian symbolism within the Dark Crystal franchise. Yeah, like I said, I'm putting this together like an episodic TV show, and it's going to come out once a week. Probably starting out the podcast, there'll be like 5 episodes I pre-record when I first launch. The whole psychology behind that is if you have 10 hours of content to start a podcast with, is there anyone else out there that can do 10 hours worth of reptilian material? I can. In fact, I already have. I've done thousands of hours of reptilian material. So, and that's kind of the idea. And I want, and that's how you pick up followers. And the more followers, and podcasting could snowball pretty quickly, very quickly, in fact. It was only after the events of Charlie Kirk that put Candace Owens as the top quote unquote podcaster right now. She's beating Joe Rogan, but that's only temporary. Reptilians is a subject that's here to. It doesn't go out of fashion. Political podcasting is it changes with the seasons, if you know what I mean. People are going to get sick of the whole Charlie Kirk thing. They're going to stop. She's going to, and besides, I don't trust. I'm not a political podcaster. Let's just say that. This is why, like with my book, I told you I want to write a reptilian book that you could read 100 years from now, or have read 100 years like earlier, and the same would apply. Um, because the information is been around since Babylon, thousands of years. The only thing that changes are the human hosts they use. Nothing new under the sun. So yeah, there is a plan, and we've been working on it. I didn't want to, and as we get things ironed out, and like I said, when I got a great team, and we have a lot of capability between us. We took going from making a joke about going to Area 51 to actually making it happen. And I've got to admit, I'll redo my Area 51 footage video. That's a great. Maybe I'll do it on a live stream for the holidays. How would that be for a holiday surprise? So that's the other thing. I don't do very well around the holidays. I deal with a lot of. Quite honestly, I don't see a lot of family and friends, and so it gives me something to do. And when I get involved in a project, I believe me, I get involved, and I usually get pretty good results. So the idea is, yeah, there is, and then with this, this just snowballs into other things under the umbrella of what we're trying to do here. Um, I'm not trying to knock other people's podcasts, but when it comes to reptilians, there is no competition out there. And hopefully, you know, I can make a name for myself. Maybe if my podcast is really successful, Wikipedia is going to have to update their reptilian Wikipedia page and not give David Icke and QAnon all the credit for reptilian research. Yeah, because oh well. Hey, I'm a capitalist, and I could do. I'm in America. If I want to start a podcast, yeah, I'm doing it, and I don't work for the dark side. Gatekeepers would never be able to do something like this, or people who have not done their own research into reptilians would never be able to do this because what are you going to do? You're going to go on a podcast, talk about the Anunnaki, and mimic what Zachariah Stitchin and David Icke taught you? Yeah, good luck with that one. Good luck trying to get 50 hours worth of material out of that. Yeah, you might get a 1 hour Ancient Aliens documentary video. Yeah, not very good. So, yeah, there is a plan, okay? And this will have, it's not going to affect what I'm doing here on YouTube. I'm going to be here and continue to be here at YouTube. And at the end of the day, having a syndicated podcast on multiple platforms is a great way to sell a book, isn't it? Yeah, that would open me up to a whole new group of people who might be interested in buying said reptilian book to support the podcast. If you see where I'm going at with that one. And it allows me to tap into a new audience. What's my ideal audience? The youth, because they are the future. Yeah, like I wasn't joking. College kids, younger kids who never heard these kind of lectures about reptilians, and they're on a podcast. They're going through. They don't want to hear about political stuff. They want to hear about conspiracy stuff. This is why Coast to Coast AM was so successful for many years because there was a radio show that you could put on at midnight, and they were talking about Bigfoot, aliens, Loch Ness. You get the idea. They were, but even they did it in they had guests. Yeah, and I think the best direction to go. I'm going more for like an old school radio style broadcast. Going to do some sound tests to see how I should record this and make it sound, and so that's kind of the idea. I'm not going to go into much more details about what I'm planning here, but I think you just get the idea. So yeah, there is a plan in the works. Don't think there isn't. I'm not going to put my faith into just being a YouTube content creator in ways to pay the bills anymore, but I do need help, and I need people I can trust, and I need people working with me that aren't Zionist shills or Freemason. And who also don't like pedophiles. Yeah, those are hard to find. You can't buy the talent that I have coming on with me because, quite honestly, they're not for sale. These are people that have known me since I was posting in forums at Disclosed TV 15 years ago. That's how they met me. They didn't even believe in the reptilian conspiracy until I came around and they saw my passion for it and they were impressed. And these are the people that eventually would help me get to Area 51 one day. Um, Pretty cool, right? And I think the podcasting route, radio style show, is the best way to go. It adds that mystique to it. You don't need to be on video for something. In fact, you shouldn't be on video for something like this. I'm not a video, I'm not knocking people but that's a different type of podcast. All right. And when you're dealing with subjects like reptilians, I want it to be a subject where people put it on at night and like Coast to Coast AM. Um, and there's a few things I'm playing with. Do I want to maybe do graphics during the podcast? I could do that. I could easily do that. I even have my own custom reptilian artwork I can show for my publisher. But I think you just get the idea of where I'm going at with this. And yes, it does create a whole lot of content that I could put onto YouTube, like clips that are cut out of the podcast. Um, But I just need to be a little more careful about the subjects I cover, which is why I said it's going to be strictly reptilian and not going to go into deep subjects like pedophilia, satanic ritual abuse, adrenochrome, Zionism, because remember, if I do this, I am at beholden to the community guidelines of Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and obviously I want to pull in advertisers because that's how you make money in a radio show. Um, and I think I can do it. In fact, I know I can do it, and there will be no competition. So, yeah, there is a plan in the works. So if you could support the channel, I'd appreciate it. I do need cigarettes today. In fact, I need weed too. Um, I appreciate it. If not, oh well. But I have Cash App, Vemno, PayPal's in the description. You could also sign up to my Patreon and locals. And we have an idea. Don't worry, we already have an idea in the works. I am still going to continue to cover pedophilia, satanic ritual abuse, and adrenochrome, just not in the podcast. We're going to do that through a different platform, a platform where I don't have to worry about getting kicked off or censored or losing advertisers. And so it's kind of the idea where, hey, you want to hear about these dark subjects, you can go here and listen to them. You want to read my book, you can go here and buy. But the podcast is going to be more or less strictly. It's going to be the kind of podcast that I'm not going to have to worry about getting kicked off platforms for exposing certain subjects. And that subject, believe it or not, the trigger for that, the biggest one, is pedophilia. Let's be honest. What do you think the whole thing with the Epstein list is right now? And if you think it's just Epstein Island, yeah, I guess you haven't heard about what goes on in Bohemian Grove. Yeah, you think Epstein Island's the only place where bad stuff's happening or was happening? Yeah, yeah, right. Um, it's not. So yeah, there is a plan, and I got some good people that are gonna help me back this, and we're gonna try to do this again the right way, and not lose everything because basically the downfall of the first YouTube channels when we really started covering like the Q stuff and Trump and satanic ritual abuse, obviously. So keeping us strictly towards reptilians, both the native Terran reptilians and the Alpha Draconians, and their army of archons, demons, alien greys. Yeah, that's plenty of content, and the episodes will probably release once a week. Meaning, I'm gonna do. I'm going about it at like a TV show, or so. I put a lot of thought into this. Like, so if you're doing a podcast about reptilians for a year straight, season one, maybe let's maybe not every week, but at least that would be 50 episodes a year. That's kind of the production schedule of a soap opera TV show. If you know anything about TV shows, yeah, we're not doing no fucking pathetic 9 episode Netflix TV show. We were talking about that last night too because I'm rewatching the X Files right now. I'm like, how the hell do they make 25 episodes a season for 9 seasons straight when the X Files is made? We can't even get a TV show. All right, we're not doing that. Anyway, I think you should get the idea. Um, I'm going for quality with these podcasts, not quantity specifically, and putting out once a week. I was advised to do that because he told me originally we were going to go with the idea of like 2 podcasts a week. He said, "Ken, you're going to burn yourself out like you did before," and I was like, "You know what? You got a good point there." But yeah, I know I can deliver a 2 hour lecture on reptilians once a week. I could definitely do that with my eyes closed and make it a different, interesting subject each week. And the way I'm going to put the podcast together is if you start from episode 1 It's going to go through the whole, Alpha Draconian, Native Terran history and different things about them, the Anunnaki, Sumeria, specific Ajiji gods, sh- how they shapeshift, everything. And that's the plan. Now I was over and I'm looking for a thumbnail for my video. I just typed in lizard radio to see what came up. Do I got safe search off? Oops, sorry. I was wondering why you're seeing ass on there. Yeah, I usually turn the safe search off because lizard radio. I'm not going to steal someone's graphic for that, but I think I just yeah, believe me, I already looked into the there isn't any competition when it comes to reptilians for me. And that's kind of the way I want to go. I'm not going to be bringing on guests and interviewing them like other podcasts do or like Coast to Coast. That's not what I'm doing. This is going to be me primarily, and when you hear it, like I already know what this should sound like in my head. It's going to sound like a radio show, complete with custom, copyright-free, royalty-free music that I am actually going to produce myself, which is why I said I'm going to be busy for the next month doing a lot of this, producing my own audio, my own jingles, my own graphics. Um, and it's going to sound like a radio show the way I'm going to record it. So, and that's what we're going for. So, and yeah, there is a great deal of interest in subjects like the Illuminati and reptilians, especially with young people. And if I can give them a podcast to listen to, and just about anyone to listen to, it's going to grow quickly. Believe me. There's a lot of podcasters that burn out because they run out of material. Look, you think it's easy to make videos every day on a subject, even on YouTube? It's not. It's harder if you don't do research about it, or if you're just mimicking what you have heard from other researchers, because then you're beholden to what you learn from them. That's not how I roll, and most of my subs know that. I come up with my own theories on reptilians, and they're pretty good. So talking about my own research and my own theories is what fuels the fire for my show. And it's why there won't be any competition, because it's my research. I'm not mimicking Zachariah Stitchin. In fact, on my podcast, there's no reason for me to even mention other reptilian researchers, because that's not what I do. I'm not here to bash other people's research. I'm not going to have a podcast show where I debunk other people's research. No, it's going to be strictly my research, and it should be fun. So that is coming in January. I'll keep you guys updated as things progress. There's going to be a lot of stuff I'll be doing in the background, and we'll go from there. So if you want to buy me a pack of cigarettes today or whatever, catnip, we always need kitty treats, catnip, whatever. Donation links are in the bottom, in the description. And God willing, I believe doing this is the best way to go for my future, um, to put us ahead, because I have a very unique subject matter, reptilians, and I just need to put this in a format that people can consume it, and podcasting is the way to go, like a radio show style podcast. And I still will continue to do like what I'm doing on YouTube, don't worry. And, anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.